Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today we have a special show from the ABV Barrel Shop where we're sitting at the tasting bar getting ready to try the cigarette blend from the cigarette blend from Lasso Motel. My name is Steve Akeley, joined by Darren McCroy. What's up, Darren?
Nothing. What's up with you, Steve?
Not much. So yeah, this should be fun. This is one that we've actually already tried. We want to kind of spread the word about it a little bit. Yeah. We weren't going to try it until we did a show. I had it sitting here, but Demetrius Kane showed up and he just popped the top and said, "Let's try this." Yeah. So I was like, "Well, whiskey's meant to be drinking, so it's hard to get mad about that." So we got to taste it. We won't give too much of a preview. We'll talk about that after the break when we get into the whiskey and Lasso Motel and stuff like that. We've done a show about them before. We'll remind you about them, and but we'll get to that later. For right now, Darren said there's something he want to talk about. What is that, sir?
So this is going to sound like a weird small talk coming from me, but I do have a story to go with it. So
okay.
When you were raising your daughter,
yes,
was there anything that she was like, "Hey, I want to do this thing"? Either something to help around the house, like just something that she took initiative on and was like, "Hey, I want to," either a trip or something that she really was passionate about that was never on your radar. If you want a little bit of time to think, I can share my story.
Sure.
So I just learned about this morning with my nephew. So my nephew, I don't have any kids, but my nephew had to do this Boy Scout project where he had to help around the house to get a merit badge.
Okay.
And he's like, basically it was like, you have to come up with a project and do it. And my sister and brother-in-law were like, "Oh yeah, we can do this, we can do this, we can do this." And like trying to give him a bunch of options. He goes, "No, I want to do," so they have a area, like a tree in their front yard that is surrounded by English ivy.
Right.
That grows everywhere. And he goes, and there's a swing on this tree. And he goes, "I want the swing on the tree," because he likes to go out there, read books and whatnot. He's like, "I want to make a path so that I don't have to step on the plants," which is adorable that he doesn't want to crush the plants, but everyone's like, "Crush the plants. Right. They'll be fine." So he ripped it all out himself.
This is like an Eagle Scout project just for home. Though.
Yeah, no, that's basically what it is. He ripped it all out. They went and got a bed full of mulch in the truck, and he was shoveling it, and he's been so proud about it since it happened. And it is just really cool. I never did anything like that as a kid. Like, "Oh, hey, I have this problem. Let me help you fix it." Like, it just never crossed my mind.
Yeah, so I do have something like that. So with Kat, so when Kat was a kid, we had a cat and a dog. Both passed away within 3 or 4 months of one another, unfortunately. We took them both to they would go to the vet at the same time, and the vet was like, "Ooh, the dog has got like 3 months to go, and the cat maybe 6 months." And like a week later, the cat was dead. And then the dog ended up hanging on a little bit longer than the vet said, but he went too. And then of course they're like, oh, you could do all these treatments and shit. And we were just like, we're gonna keep them until their quality of life goes down,
Yep.
and then we always my mom will keep them together forever. She'll do all kinds of crazy stuff. I don't do that. We keep them going until there's, because I'd want to live. That's how I always want to live. I want to live my life until I'm not living my life, and then it's like, just let me fade away. And so then we don't have any pets, and then it's like, I kind of don't want pets, but the kid really wanted a pet. And what she landed on, she wanted a Maine Coon, and not somebody who says, hey, this is a Maine Coon because it looks like that. She wanted a purebred Maine Coon. So I look it up, find a place that sells them. There's not, it was like Chicago we go to. You can't get anything like in St. Louis. So a real Maine Coon, everybody will go, you go to their house and be like, that's a Maine Coon. Well, it's probably really not. This is a purebred Maine Coon, and at that time, which I don't know what year this was, 2004 maybe, something like that, $750. So I was like, all right, well, how are you gonna, you don't have a job, how are you gonna make $750? And she's like, well, I'll talk to Grandpa. Okay, that's probably a good idea, but
it won't hurt.
Yeah, Grandpa will pay for the whole thing. You're not learning anything from that. I'll tell you what. See if you can talk your grandfather into paying for half of it. That's $375, and then I'll pay half. But then you have to earn the other half of the $375 by doing chores around here. Because I wanted this to be a learning experience.
Yeah, no,
you can learn how to make
try.
money. You can learn how to make money. So she, of course, calls her grandfather easy. Like, you need the $750. You're like, no, Dad, let it go. Yeah. So she's got half of it just right off the bat by a targeted ask. And then I was like, I'm good for, I'm doing half of the other $375, but you got to work. So she just did a series of chores. We kept track of it. She had to keep track of it in a journal. Like, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm cleaning this. I'm doing that. And eventually, then she got enough money, and then she was able to get her cat. So then that's when we got Leo the cat.
Nice.
So yeah.
It is amazing. And so
I never paid for a cat before, by the way. I'd go where you buy the litter box and the food, and they give you the cat.
Yeah.
That's what I always got. Just but she wanted specifically a Maine Coon.
Yeah, and which you had to pay for.
Right.
It is amazing trying to teach kids that kind of stuff.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
I don't really want kids, but like teaching them how to be a real person.
Right.
My other nephew, we were talking about, it was his first year of high school, and I was running around with my sister this morning delivering water for my other sister, and I was like, did we finally find, because Eli has always been a kid that's hard to challenge him in school.
Right.
He's been smart, and did we finally find the challenge level for him? And she goes, yeah, not academically, socially.
Right.
Because he's managing his social schedule, his cross-country schedule, his Boy Scout schedule.
Yeah.
And he does all these things now, and he's in charge of all of that. It's like, he's learning how to be a real person.
Yes. Yeah.
And evidently he got home from a track meet yesterday and goes, man, growing up is a long day. Like, when you have to work long days, like, it finally clicked to him. Like,
that's good. Yeah.
It's just kind of cool to see. So
yeah. Another thing I'm a big fan of, I never pass up a lemonade stand.
Yep.
You're going to drink some shitty lemonade, and I always overpay for it because they want, whatever they want, 25 cents a dollar, and I always give them a 5, 10, 50, 120, whatever. I overpay for it.
Yep.
But it's the greatest thing for teaching a little kid about business, because if they're I don't get into the logistics of how they're doing it, but if they're learning, hey, I got to pay for this product. I then make the lemonade. I get the powder or whatever, and then I add the water and I make the lemonade. I chill it, and then I sell it, and then I make so much, and then you learn the idea of how much you sell versus how much your cost is, and then you also learn service, the tips that you get over that amount. You set your price of whatever it is, $1.
Lemonade stands are perfect.
Yeah, you always buy lemonade stands.
Yep. I wish there was more in my neighborhood, honestly, because I live in Crestwood, so there's a lot of old people. There's not as many kids. So I get about one a summer is all I'll drive by. It's like, dang.
I always stop. Yeah, I'll see them. And through the neighborhoods I drive, because I go the back way, and it takes me through a couple different neighborhoods, and I always stop at the lemonade stand.
Yeah.
So not for the lemonade, for the experience it's given those kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, very cool. All right, so what we're going to do next, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be trying Lasso Motel's newest thing. This is a cigarette blend, the first one we've ever heard of. Maybe something else exists. I've never heard of a cigarette blend.
Yeah.
Heard of cigar blends. Everybody's like, there are these cigar blend. Well, cigars and cigarettes are different, and this is designed for cigarettes. Very fun. We'll talk about what that is and get to that and more after the break. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of executive bourbon steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your executive bourbon steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your executive bourbon steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show. All right, great job today, gang. Fardians, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. We'll be mailing again, once again. Take care, everybody. See ya.
Happy Festivus. Bye.
Happy Festivus.
Yeah, happy Festivus.
All right, everybody, welcome back. It's Steve and Darren, and we're here at the ABV Barrel Shop Tasting Bar. We're getting ready to try this offering from Lasso Motel. We remember we did a show in Lasso Motel. The company's not that old, so obviously they're sourcing, and when they came out, they had like 12 different SKUs, I think.
Yeah.
Like that. It was a lot.
It might be more than 12,
It might be,
honestly.
yeah.
It was a lot of things.
It was. So this is new, though. This is on top of whatever they came out with. It is a cigarette blend. What else do we know about this one, Darren? What is their blend? What is the proof? All that kind of stuff.
It is coming in at 100 proof.
Okay.
It is a blend of straight bourbon whiskey finished in Armagnac cask, a bourbon whiskey finished in sherry cask, and bourbon whiskey finished in cognac casks.
Okay.
So, kind of your traditional cigar blend.
Yes.
But I think they went a different way from what I remember, because, as you said, we've tasted it. So,
yeah.
I think they went with one of them more than the others. So
they did, and also the proof. Typically all cigar blends that I've tried, again, there may be more out there, but typically they're cast strength.
Yeah.
This is not cast strength. It's 100 proof, so the idea is it's toned down a little bit, too.
Yep.
So let's give this thing a taste and see where we're at.
On that nose, you get that explosion of the cognac, Armagnac.
Yes. Yeah. I think this is a very pleasant whiskey to drink.
Mm-hmm.
I really like it. I bought it from Sealbox, so I did purchase this. It wasn't a media sample or anything. $75.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I think it's a great value for that.
Yeah,
I
it
think,
really is.
I think it's good. Kind of fun. So, yeah. And again, I don't smoke cigars, cigarettes, weed, none of that. But I do like these because they tend to be complex. This is way more complex than most of your 100 proof whiskey.
Yes. Oh, for sure.
So, yeah.
I also think the blending of multiple finishes is where finished whiskey is going to end up. Like doing these specialty blends.
It's true. Yes.
And work, because the ones that do it well, and try and create different flavors with those blends, right?
Right.
The single barrel finishes will probably always have their spot.
Yes.
But I think this is kind of where the world's going.
I like
different blends.
I like it too because it's like what does it? So you take a drink and someone's like, okay, what's it taste like? No, give me a second.
Yeah.
Because it has to go through, your palate has to process this, and it's waves of flavor. It evolves. So you can't just be like, throw it in your mouth and then be like, oh, it tastes like this. No, wait a second, because it's going to be a bunch of different flavors, and that certainly happens here, which is really cool.
Yeah.
Laura Lee from MB Rolling was here the other day, and she's like, darts, that's also another word for cigarette. And in England, it is. So,
yeah.
But for them, it's supposed to be paired with darts, playing the game darts, and cigarettes in a dive bar type of situation.
Yep.
So, and this is kind of a hipster brand. So in reality, I don't think it's really meant for people who truly go to dive bars to go to dive bars. I think it's meant for the hipster type who go to dive bars so they can feel like retro cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the hipster dive bars.
Yes, correct.
Than the real
real dive bars. Yes.
That all they serve is Busch Light and Busch Light, and we have a bottle of Jim Beam.
I recently was in Pensacola Beach and went to a real dive bar by accident. It was the original home of the famous cocktail from down there, and that was a real dive bar. So I ordered that cocktail. It comes in a styrofoam cup.
Yeah,
it was already pre-mixed in one of those things like Royce Neely has, and she just puts it underneath the spigot, pulls the thing, and says, "Here you go, babe."
Yep.
She sounded like she could use the cigarette blend. So
she would know how to pair them.
Yeah, calling you babe. I mean, that's a dive bar thing.
Oh, yeah.
That's a real dive bar thing. That's not someone trying to steal culture from dive bars. That's the real deal. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So. Honey, you want another one?
Right. How's that going down? Yeah.
Yeah, but this is a fantastic whiskey.
It really is.
It is crushable.
I'm a big fan. I put it under the crushable for sure.
And I think if I was a cigarette smoker, on a nice summer day after work, enjoying some of this on ice with a cigarette, I could see it working real well.
Yeah, I could too. So, very cool. Well, there you go. There's the latest from Lasso Motel. It looks like they're doing well because they're doing new things. So that's their cigarette blend. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Darren, we're going to start that process with you. Where can people find you?
You can find me on Instagram at The Bourbon Adventures.
All right. For me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check that out. Everything that we do is out there. Also, come by and see us. You never know what's going on right now. We're just hanging out. Had a very busy morning. It slowed down a little bit here, so we're doing a couple of shows, and that kind of stuff happens here at the ABV Barrel Shop. So check us out online, abvbarrelshop.com. We also always have events and things like that. We have our classes and events page that has all of that, as well as our inventory, which is under the inventory page. So check that out. Finally, you want to get involved in the show, the easiest way is to give us a 5-star review with comments. It helps new people find the show. That's important to us. And last but not least, head over to patreon.com/the ABV Network. That's going to do it for today. We'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye, y'all.
Peace. Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you're in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.